Monty, what else can universities be doing? I know that they're doing a lot. They've started these programs, these Center of Academic Excellence certified by the NSA, and there's a lot of programs out there now that weren't before. But what else can they be doing?
Yeah, I think the key thing is right now in our academia, we're looking at information security programs being the main thrust of the education. And I also want to say the thought process, I'm bringing up the NSA CAA schools, is a great example of how we're looking at universities and tuning those programs towards cyber defense. That's a great first start. However, when we look at, like you mentioned, being a doctor and a nurse, that's something we understand. 2 to 4 years to become a nurse, 10 to 14 years to become a doctor. We're looking at the same level of technical knowledge need in this space, and our academia is not there to answer that question. What I think they can be done in the very near future is focus on the specializations of the cyber workforce to be able to identify the specific roles that we have in cyber and get that into academia as soon as possible.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I believe to add in what Monty says, the colleges focus on computer science, and then they add 5 classes that say cyber stuff.
Yes.
And they're different across lots of colleges. You really have to get into master's programs degrees at a lot of the CA schools that NSA blessed to get a full-blown cyber curriculum where you get hands-on to things. You go into a lab. I think that our universities are just a little bit behind on giving the right classes to people so that when they walk out with a 4-year degree that they can be ready to work.
Absolutely.
And Wayne, I'd like to add one more thing to that. I think while from an educational standpoint, we focus on math and computer science, but we need other folks, right, to support the mission. And you don't have to have a degree. Right. I think that's a really important thing. You can be on the spectrum, right, and just think like our adversaries think. And I don't think that we've leveraged that community well enough to bring some of those folks into the fold. But we also need people who can write. We need people who can speak. We need people who think differently, non-traditional thinkers, because that's how our adversaries are thinking. They understand how we teach today, but if we don't go to a non-traditional route with certain people in our workforce, we're not going to keep up.
Yeah. I was going to add about the warfighter aspect. All great points. The warfighter aspect. Our warfighters go to school and they learn, but I don't think they're going to get the kind of practical experience that Greg outlined in regards to seeing late-breaking innovative techniques and technologies that we have here. It's just not going to do it. They don't have that convenience, and they're on a very accelerated schedule to get through that class, get on station so they can get on mission.
Yeah, I'll add something else into what Greg said. In the world of cyber and AI, you need analysts. And analysts aren't normally computer science engineers and mathematicians. So you need to take people that can do good analysis, train them a little bit on the technical side, and then put them in with the technical people, because that's how you win the game. And I'll go back to my many years at NSA, and I started in 2001. We started hiring computer scientists and engineers to be analysts, because at the time we said cyber information is not normal information. And so different analysts are a big key. And I agree with you, Greg. Anybody can become an analyst if they can analyze data.
Mm-hmm.